As our focus has been across the world, as our focus has been on the southern border and the issues going on, which rightly so, it should be there, we're missing out on two major things that has taken place this week. We've seen infiltration from our northern border that's unprotected, and also the Senate has passed this bill that doesn't protect our nation at all. Let's jump into today some of the crazy things that's going on and how your country is not protected. There is more and more going on here, all because not only your southern border, your northern border, and also your elected officials. No one's taking care of you, and no one's taking care of our borders and the sovereignty of America. Let's jump into it today. This video starts right now.
Every time you're away, I long for you so much I can find my way.
Hey guys, welcome to the Max. Thank you so very much for being here this morning. It is a beautiful day. I hope that you are having a good day. As crazy as this world is, always remember to love on your family, be the best person you can be, and ultimately that will help you have a more sustainable outlook on life. And hopefully as we go through this channel and we go through these videos, it builds a wisdom and a common sense approach to take care of our families. Now let's jump into it for today. A few things have taken place. You've had a Senate bill pass with Republicans who every one of them should be primaried. Every one of them should be kicked out because they're all sellouts to the border situation. Oh wait, they didn't vote for our border. They voted for Ukrainian border. They also gave money to Taiwan and Israel. Now, again, the issues with these countries and the fact that these people should be taken care of, but it is not our position. Did you know that Israel and Taiwan both are, completely sustainable? They have tons of funds. They're actually not needing our funds, but we're willing to give them. Also, the fact that our country is begging and pleading for borders to be protected, all the while every Democratic senator and a lot of Republicans, these sellout rhinos, voted to give $95 billion of your tax money to all those countries, leaving out the border, leaving out American borders and Americans' lines of defense. We invested, do you realize $95 billion went to taking care of their borders? 3 borders of 3 countries who actually only one of them is considered a key ally. And we're willing to give $95 billion and not protect our border. Things, and this is why it's important. This was last year. It said there were 200 biolabs identified in all the states of America from Chinese nationalists that were coming across our border. Actually in California, they busted vials of different diseases. No one talked about that, but that was last year in California. Look it up. But we see that there's biolabs, there's more terror coming across our borders. They're not just flying over here, and they're not just citizens of America. Most of these people are coming up from the southern border. Now, here's the problem. While we have our eyes on the southern border, which is a major thing, listen to this. Invasion spreads to unfenced U.S. northern border now. Most people are realizing they can take a flight from Mexico City into Montreal or Toronto, go fly right over the continental U.S., but then come in right over the northern border too, because it is unfenced and not taken in consideration of being safe. Now, it's amazing that we are a sovereign country who has adversaries all over the world, and we're starting all these little proxy wars all over the world, and we leave our own border unsecure. That is so arrogant on our part to believe that we can take care of this nation once these terrorists come in, or we are just openly letting these terrorists come in. New York Post reported that most illegal crossings have occurred on the 295-mile section of upstate New York, New Hampshire, or Vermont. So we're seeing a ton of immigrants. It's like thousands. They said it was possibly around 12,000 has already come from these northern borders of unfenced area in America from Canada straight in. So we're being invaded from the south, we're being invaded from the north. We have congressmen and senate who are voting against our own borders. We also have biolabs already found in America. Do you see the implosion that's actually happening? Before we jump in, the sponsor of today's video. Today's video sponsor is Delete Me. Delete Me is one of my favorite sponsors. I say this every time and I mean it because they've been with me. I trust them, and also I am a subscriber to their platform. You ever wonder how you get all these sketchy emails? You ever wonder how you get these sketchy calls and they're trying to get information of yours? Do you ever wonder why you get hacked in your email or on your office account or whatever it may be? Why do we have to live in fear when we talk about virtual living? We live every bit of our life technology. technological now. So therefore, we need protection. Delete Me is just that. They're going to take your information, your name, your phone numbers, your addresses that has been shared by data brokers, that has been shared by the bad players, and they're going to clean it up. They're going to start taking your name off those things and getting them away from those sketchy places. Scammers are constantly targeting Americans, especially older Americans. We become vulnerable and we become trustworthy, and we start answering these phone calls. We start opening these emails. All the while, when you open them, when you answer, they're getting your information. It's amazing how smart they are, and they're playing on the fact that we're so gullible. Identity theft and scams are on the rise. Here's some things that you should know. Do not open sketchy emails. Do not click suspicious links. Use strong passwords. Hide your passwords. Authenticate with 2 factors. These are just some ways that you can protect yourself. Use a VPN. Have a secure email source that you can use. And then ultimately, subscribe to Delete Me, because Delete Me is going to help you clean all that mess up that you've already done. And then try to be proactive in knowing that people want your data, and they're going to do all they can to get it. They can make a scam email look professionally done and truly real. When you click on those things and all of a sudden you're compromised, Delete Me helps clean it up. Check with Delete Me today. There's a promo code below. It gives you a huge discount for my viewers. I believe that you will not be upset. And when I do these integrations and these sponsorships, companies like this company's been with me for a long time. So they believe in the value systems that we have, and they're here supporting our viewers. So check them out. Join deleteme.com/themax. You will get a discount. I promise you, you will be very satisfied when they give you the report and realize how much your name has already been compromised, how many people had your name that you didn't want them to have. It's gonna blow your mind. Check out Delete Me today. Join deleteme.com/themax. 2 things that I think we missed, and I think a lot of people are missing. We've talked about it, but we're missing. We talked about the Chinese nationalists. We talked about the fact that the northern and southern border. We've talked about the fact that our Senate is against us. So we have no representation. We have no one protecting our border. So it comes down to you protecting yourself and your family. Now, Delete Me, like we talked about earlier, that's a way to technologically protect yourself. Now think about this. This week, the Super Bowl played. One of the biggest sponsors that were actually a lot of U.S. Attorney Generals have already been trying to sanction this company was Temu. Temu is a sponsor of a lot of people's videos, not my content. I actually turned them down. But Temu is one of those apps that gets a lot of your data that is literally from China. Gets a lot of your data, gets a lot of your information because you want to buy cheap goods. It's actually tied to like all kind of slave labor, all this kind of stuff in China. And NFL gave them, what, 2 or 3 spots on our national broadcasts. So we're letting them infiltrate now our technological safety too. So that's why you need to Delete Me, by the way. Secondly, Joe Biden, your president, signed up to TikTok this week. So now, remember, TikTok was one of those apps, again, that a lot of state and federal agencies has already said is a danger to Americans and a danger to children. And it's dangerous because they're getting your information, they're giving you psyops and propaganda to ultimately cause a demise to America. And our president just decided to get on TikTok this week. So we are not protected physically on our northern or southern border. We're not protected financially because we have senators and congressmen who are giving our monies all away. We're not protected in our technology because we have these apps and these companies that are infiltrating us technological into our cell phones to where we're giving them all access just because we want a 15-second video at TikTok or we want a cheap shirt for $5 on Temu. We're not protected. We are literally watching ourselves go down the drain all because these people are selling out. You know why the Democrats won't close the border? Because they're sellouts. They want the votes and they want money. You know why your congressmen and your senators are passing these bills, Democrats and Republicans, is because they know that money that's going to Ukraine will launder back, and these defense contractors and all these big industries will give money back to their pockets and fund their campaigns and make sure they're safe. Roger Wicker, a Mississippi senator, voted for this. We've been trying to get rid of him, but to be honest with you, nobody will run against him. If I know anybody that's a conservative in Mississippi, hey, I raise my hand. I will help support you to get him out because he is corrupt and he's a sellout just like the rest of these Republicans. We have no representation in Washington. And we are literally watching our borders, the south and now the north, unfenced borders, literally fall to pieces, and it's causing, what, biolabs? Chinese nationalists, Iranian nationalists, Azerbaijan terrorists to come across our borders. There was a comment made by a senator who said that was against the bill, and he said, while we're letting the people come in, the people that are coming in are not the ones that's going to be our doctors. It's not going to be the ones that are taking care, being our engineers, that's teaching us. Most of them are going to be in the welfare state. So if we allow these millions of illegal immigrants to come in, we allow them to vote, they're always going to be a handout from the government, which means they can always vote the way the government wants them to, which will lead to one party always staying in power, the uniparty. It's dangerous times, guys. I pray that you prepare. You go back and watch some of these stockpile videos I've done, because I think we're getting to a point, if we don't protect ourselves, no one else will. Stay vigilant, be safe, and ultimately rely on Christ through this crazy time. We need wisdom and common sense, and that's the only way that we're really going to get it, is get spiritual healing in our nation. Guys, thank you for watching. God bless. Happy homesteading.